Ever dreamt of walking across the African savanna at sunrise and hearing the wildest orchestra of calls echoing through the grasslands? What if I told you that 10 birds, often overlooked, rule this golden wilderness as much as lions or elephants? You're about to meet them, and once you do, you'll never look at birds the same way again. Let's begin with the secretary bird. Imagine a bird that doesn't just fly. It struts like royalty. At nearly 4 feet tall with eyelashes longer than a runway model's, it looks like a bird from a fashion magazine. But here's the twist. It's not style that makes it famous, it's its deadly legs. With a bone-crushing kick, this bird hunts snakes in the tall grass, striking with precision that would humble a martial artist. If you thought eagles were fearsome, the secretary bird will rewrite that belief. Now, picture a bird so commanding that it doesn't just hunt, it governs. The martial eagle, Africa's heaviest eagle, carries off monkeys, small antelope, and even young warthogs. Locals call it the Sky King because when its shadow passes, every creature below scatters. The sheer power in its talons is enough to snap bones instantly. Spotting one perched high in a baobab feels like meeting the overlord of the sky. Enter the African fish eagle, with its call so haunting and iconic that it's been called the soundtrack of Africa itself. When its cry echoes over a river, you can almost feel the pulse of the continent. It swoops to pluck fish with pinpoint accuracy, its reflection mirrored on the water's surface. For many travelers, hearing this eagle's cry is the moment Africa feels alive. If the fish eagle is the voice of rivers, then the lilac-breasted roller is the color of the savanna sky. Its feathers burst with blues, violets and greens, so vivid they look painted by hand. But beauty isn't all it offers. It dives in aerial acrobatics during mating displays, spiraling like a living firework. You can't help but stop and stare, because this bird isn't just flying, it's performing. From beauty to grit, let's meet the hornbill. These birds are like living soap operas. They seal their mates into tree cavities with mud, leaving only a tiny slit through which the male feeds the female and chicks. It's a story of trust and resilience. And if you've ever seen Disney's Zazu, you already know the character inspired by Africa's most charismatic hornbill. But if hornbills tell stories of family, the weaver birds build monuments of them. Picture hundreds of tiny architects constructing woven nests that dangle like lanterns from trees. These colonies buzz with activity, each nest a carefully crafted fortress. Their engineering skills are so precise that some human designers have studied them for inspiration. When the wind whips through a tree full of weaver nests, it's like hearing the savanna whisper 1,000 secrets. Some birds are not admired for their beauty or their engineering, but for their grit. The vulture is often cast as the villain of the savanna, circling above death. But here's the real deal. Vultures are the clean-up crew that saves ecosystems from disease. Without them, carcasses would rot and spread sickness across the plains. They're survivors, misunderstood yet essential, proving that even the most maligned creatures can be heroes. And then comes the Kori bustard, the heavyweight champion of flight. Often weighing over 30 pounds, it's one of the largest flying birds in the world. Watching it lift off is like, well, watching an aircraft take flight, a slow-motion defiance of gravity. On the ground, it strides with deliberate confidence, and when males display, they puff up until they look like living balloons, showing off to rivals and mates alike. Not far behind in size, but unmatched in drama, are the ostriches. The tallest and fastest-running birds on Earth, they're savanna gladiators. An ostrich sprinting across the plains at over 40 miles per hour is a sight you just don't forget. And when threatened, they can kick with such force that a single blow can kill a predator. Yet they're also a bit comical, with their awkward long necks bobbing like periscopes over the grass. Finally, we arrive at the grey-crowned crane, a bird so regal it wears a crown of golden feathers. It dances in pairs, leaping and bowing in elegant displays of devotion. These dances aren't just rituals, they're the choreography of love, really. In many African cultures, this crane is a symbol of joy and longevity. And when you see it silhouetted against the sunset, it feels as if Africa itself is dancing. So, what do these 10 birds tell us about the savannah? That survival isn't just about fangs and claws, it's about strategy, resilience, beauty, and sometimes sheer spectacle. Each of these birds holds a key role in the grand design of the ecosystem. Some rule with power, others with song, and some with dance or devotion. Together, they prove that the African savanna isn't only the stage for lions, elephants, and rhinos, it's also a kingdom of wings. And maybe the most surprising part? If you were to sit quietly under an acacia tree at dawn, you'd hear their chorus before you ever saw a lion. It's the birds, not the beasts, that begin the day's story on the savannah. And once you've listened, you'll understand why.